Hey guys, so I've ran out of ideas on how to start one of these, so we're just gonna sit here for a while. The Lego Batman movie rocks. Oh yeah, it's also the best Lego movie, but we'll get back to that in a moment. For now, I want to draw attention to the fact that not many people look at this movie as a Batman movie. Sort of how, even though it's known and adored to death across the board, and had a theatrical release, not that many people see Mask of the Phantasm as a quote unquote Batman movie. The first three, or I guess now four things that come to mind when people think of Batman's filmography are usually the original four, the Dark Knight trilogy, the DCEU's Batman, and the new Batman. Well, these two are well known, they made a lot of money, but they've been put to the sidelines by critics. There are reasons, as crappy as they are. Maybe it's because they are both too PG films, and it is therefore heresy that an adult will watch one of these movies. Or maybe it's because they're animated and society has not evolved to the point where quote unquote grown ups, also known as edgy teens, are able to accept that cartoons aren't just for kids. Well, I, a 13-year-old white boy with braces and glasses, will try to convince you that not only does the Lego Batman movie understand Batman more than any other on screen adaptation, but it might just be the best Batman and best Lego movie ever. That's right, not that or that, but this artistic masterpiece. Right off the bat, the first 10 minutes of this movie are great. It shows the typical dynamic between Batman and Joker before subverting your expectations and showing us that the dynamic between Batman and Joker is one of a twisted, messed up romance, kind of a kid-friendly version of their relationship in the Arkham games. And I said this before, but Will Arnett, man, he is so good as Batman. And this Batman in general is so good. Of course, he doesn't kill because this is a kid's film. He has an extremely sympathetic side, but when he goes full Batman, you can feel that. I love how much of a contrast the protagonists of these two movies are, while deep down having the same goal. In the Lego movie, Emmett is super happy and jovial and is definitely not a man of action, while Batman is dark and always jumps in to stop the bad guys. But what they both ultimately desire is to be seen, to not be alone, which contrasts perfectly with our antagonist, the Joker. Zach Galifianakis. This guy is the most unique Joker to come out of the 2010s. Where most Jokers in this trying decade were somewhat pale imitations of Heath Ledger's legendary performance, this Joker is instead completely defined and completely obsessed with Batman. You might think that's a given. Isn't every Joker supposed to be the yin to Batman's yang? Actually, not really. Of course, Batman is a pretty substantial part of all of these Jokers' lives. They don't have the same creepy demotion to him, however, as in the comics or the Arkham games, or in this movie. Jack Nicholson just wants to control Gotham by winning over the people. Sure, he murdered Martha and Thomas, creating Batman, which is pretty substantial, but he has nothing to do with Bruce beyond that. The only reason the Joker fights Batman is because he gets in his way. He has nothing against him, nothing personal. Heath Ledger, although he grows into the Batman-obsessed lunatic over the film, he starts off wanting to kill Batman just because he's slowing down crime. Joaquin Phoenix has nothing to do with Batman. So does Cameron Monaghan in Gotham. It's too early in the new Batman to get a read on Barry Keoghan, but I'm assuming he'll be the same, mostly from the deleted scene. All of these guys at least don't start their movies being consumed by the need to be seen by Batman, while in this movie we start off with the Joker and Batmania, which only gets amplified when Batman tells him how little he means to him. Then he becomes obsessed with proving to him that he does care about him, but there is another player in this twisted, messed up relationship. I have to be honest, Robin in this movie is a bit of a double-edged sword. On one hand, this is the most on-screen accurate portrayal of Robin by a long shot. It isn't even close. This Batman and Joker being one of the best versions of the characters, maybe the best versions, is certainly a massive hot take. But when it comes to the on-screen Robins, ugh. The original Robin co-starred with Batman in one of the worst comic book films ever to hit the silver screen, and Christopher Nolan turned Robin into an adult reporter? What? Well, this Robin, he's a child, he sounds like him, he looks like him, and they are unashamed to lean into the comic book roots of the character. But on the other hand, Robin doesn't have much of an arc. He doesn't really envelop. There are hints of an arc here, and they're like the scene with him in the Batmobile, the scene with him at the party, and to a much, much, much lesser extent, the scene with him at an orphanage. But hey, he'll probably get better development in the sequel. Oh. This has been more of a video about the dynamic between the Batman and the Joker than a full review. But honestly, I don't think a complete review of this movie is possible. There is so much going on that it is honestly impossible to break it all down, and it is actually illegal and nobody's talking about it. This is everything good about all the LEGO movies, which is why I consider this better than the first. Now say it with me, kids. Then they had to go and F it up. Hey guys, thanks for sitting through the video. I have the full unedited version of this video up on my second channel, which is a whole 8 minutes long. Oh, that's right, I have a second channel now. No, I'm not asking you to subscribe or anything, that would be cheap, but, if you want to.